So there, I just got the Blockbuster 1412 Plus put back in place. Got it all set up, so we're ready to process wood, but I am not processing wood today. Today, I'm going to answer what has been a lot of questions that have come up about this whole Blockbuster Easton made thing that have come up on the channel since I made the switch. So, first off, I want to say everything is fine. The world did not end. The deal that I had with Andrew at Easton Made was that he was going to have me use his processor for a year. I had it 3 years. I'm perfectly happy with the way things went. It was a great machine to have. I learned a ton using it. I learned how much wood you can produce quickly with a big processor. It was awesome. Works great. Now, that processor got sold to someone, so they came and got it, and you saw that in the past videos. And it went and got a retrofit. They put some new stuff on it, some upgrades, and then it got sold. So great, that's awesome for them. Their Evo is selling really good, so there's added interest now in bar saws. So they said that was a big reason why they wanted it back, because they're able to sell it because they're getting more people wanting bar saws. I really like their 48C a lot. You probably saw in the videos. We were up at my brother Ken's recently, and we ran Ed's 48C Easton Made that he's got. The story on the Blockbuster. So about, it would have been last August, somewhere in there, when we had the Great Lakes Expo up in Green Bay. The guys at Blockbuster, they had just acquired the company. The name of the company, if you've watched the videos, it is Bazooka Farmstar. Big company. They make manure pumping units for pumping out these big, huge manure pits for miles. So the big company, very cool. Got to tour the plant. You saw that with my brother Ken. Hopefully you saw all that. And they made me an offer that it's going to be really good for me. So I've always wanted a unit that I could take places. And if you've been watching the videos, you've been seeing this up at Kenny's, and it's back here now. The big machine that we had, the 22 MB from Easton Made, I really couldn't take it anywhere. It was 17,000, 18,000 pounds. Even Bert's one-ton truck struggled pulling it. So you need something very substantial. And to take it for basically 3.5 hours within a 4-hour trip, pulling that thing up to my brother Ken's, it just wouldn't be worth it. So I got the opportunity to get this machine from Blockbuster after meeting the guys talking about it. Their marketing person said, hey, we need to do some social media marketing, because they acquired the company like less than a year ago. And when I had first talked to them, they had only had the company for months. They are now going to be producing these in-house, and they've got a much bigger production facility. They're made in the United States. They're made in Iowa. They're 5 hours away from me. And they've got 8 different units, I believe, altogether. If you go with the 1412 and then the 1412 Plus, then there's a 1520 and a 1520 Plus, and then there's I think an 1820 and an 1820 Plus. And then they got a 2020 or a 2018, something like that, and then they've got a 2222. You saw a video on that machine. That was a while back that we ran that while we were there. So they got a bunch of machines, and they want me to try them all. So that is awesome. And I can drive down there, or they can come up here with them. So it's going to be much easier. I don't know by now if you guys have seen this, when this video is going to come out, what's happening with the tariffs and how that's going to affect things. I know if it actually happens, it's going to hurt a lot of the Canadian manufacturers of all machines. So that's an issue. The other reason why I wanted to go with these guys is this is a unit that I can tow with a 1/2 ton. Their next one, their 1520, which hopefully I'll be getting that. By the time you guys see this, I might actually have that one. So we want to go about every 3-4 months, get a new unit, and just keep playing with them. And they're making improvements on these as we go. We're pointing out things that we would like different. So that's really cool. But I can tow this very easily with my 1/2 ton. The 1520, which we're going to be getting next, that's going to be very towable. This machine right here without the elevator is 3,400 pounds. With the elevator, adds like another 1,000, so we're at like 44 or something like that. I think the 1520, and don't quote me on these numbers exactly, these are just guesstimates. I know I'm in the ballpark though. The next one is going to be like 5,200 pounds with an elevator, be another 1,000. So 6,000 pounds, still very towable. The next one up from there is 7-ish thousand pounds. The next one up from that is around 9, and then the really big one, the 2222, if I remember correctly, it's right around 10 or 11,000 pounds. which would put me at the very maximum with my Toyota Tundra. But I plan on upgrading. I plan on having a different truck in the near future. I've been looking at them lately, and it's just a matter of deciding exactly what I want to get. I really want to get a 3/4 ton. I've been looking at the Dodges, I've been looking at the Fords, I've been looking at the Chevys. I considered getting another Toyota. I would love to, but I'm not excited about a V6 turbo. I really want a V8, and I'd like something that can tow and handle a little bit more. Not only with being able to tow these machines, but I might be upgrading my trailer eventually. My N&N dump trailer, I might be getting the next size up. I might be getting a 714 or something bigger so I can haul more wood, so then a bigger truck. So as you know, everything affects everything. So if you upgrade one thing, everything else kind of needs to be upgraded with it. So we'll see what happens there. But I really like these machines. They're fun to operate, very easy. The base price on this machine, in case you guys are curious, in case you haven't looked it up, in case I didn't mention it, if you get the base machine, the 1412, not the Plus, just the 1412, is around 32, 33,000. So a little bit more than some of the splitters that are on the market. And it cuts. And you can take it places with a live deck and all this good stuff. So it's in the affordable range for a lot of people, and there's not a lot of machines in the market like this. So I anticipate once guys see what this can do, if I take it to any shows or if you see it on the channel, this is something that an average guy could buy, whether he's producing wood just for himself for a boiler, if he's producing enough wood every year that he needs something to save him time and effort. My brother Ken admitted finally, like, wow, I cannot believe how nice this is versus cutting everything with a chainsaw. Because he's always been like, oh, I can cut it with a chainsaw and split it, I'm just fine. But I think now he's beginning to see the light that, like, hey, that saves a lot of time and effort. We produced 5 semi-loads up at his place in a matter of a couple weeks. That wasn't even a couple weeks steady. It was like a couple days and a couple days. And then I took off for like a week. Then I came back. We did another couple days worth, and he got a lot of wood made real fast. We did basically a semi-load here in a matter of a couple 4-hour days, if that. 4 hours, you can do about a half a load with this thing. You do it, we found out, they said this is a 1 cord per hour, but you can do about a cord and a half if you got good wood. And if you got a semi-load that's 12 full cords, if you really went at hard, I think you could do a load in a day. I think you could. So pretty cool. The elevator adds, I think it's around 1,000 pounds, and it adds like another $8,000, something like that. So it's very doable for an average guy, or if you got, like, say, a couple friends, a couple buddies, or a couple brothers like us that would want to go in to buy something like this. But I'm very happy that they want to work with me, and I get to try these machines out. You guys are going to get to see them. So it's pretty awesome. So that, in a nutshell, is what's going on. No hard feelings between me and Easton Made. I still think they're a great company, but I got to admit, the size of the machine I had was way more than I needed for my operation. I do a couple hundred full cords a year, maybe 250, a smaller sized processor that I can take places. I'll be able to take this to Tony's. I'll be able to take it to my brother Ken's. I'll be able to take this to my other brother Eric's and process wood. This is much more realistic for someone in my situation, my size operation, which is a lot of you. I know there's a lot more guys that produce 100, 200, 300 full cords than there are guys that produce 2,000 full cords of wood a year. And those guys are the ones that need the big machines. So just a different size business, and it's going to fit really well for what I'm doing. So another reason I thought this would be a great company, a great fit for me and for them, is because obviously they're a company that is bigger in that they can put some money into development and improving things and maybe coming out with some new stuff, which I know they're working on. They've got elevators, they've got tumblers, they've got grapples. So they got a whole line of stuff, and they've been in existence for a long time, the company. And then Tony, the guy who you saw operating some of the machinery when we were there, he's been there 25 years, and he knows these things inside out. He knows every part there is to know. And with our added use on this and pointing out things that we've seen in other machines, they're going to be able to make some really nice improvements, we think. Little tweaks, nothing super major, it's just little things that we found out and pointed out to them, and they're very open to improving the product. So that is awesome. Now, I contacted several other companies that make processors. I'm not going to mention any names, but there were several of them that I have talked with over the last year and a half, almost 2 years, things that people are developing, things with companies that are already out there, things we talked about that I was supposedly going to get, or they wanted me to try some stuff and it never developed. And there was 4 or 5 different companies and things just never really got going. But these guys, Blockbuster, came to me and said, hey, we want you. Well, that was good to hear. Because they had looked at my stuff. They knew that I have a fairly clean channel. I try to keep it family friendly. It's all geared towards firewood. It's geared towards producing wood for burning, whether it's for heating or for pleasure. I've got a pretty good pulse, I think, on how things work. I'm able now at my age, with where I'm in my profession, what I did for 40-some years, I'm able to now step back from that a little bit and go to all the different shows, talk to people at the shows, be in these guys' booths at the shows and tell you my honest opinion of what I like, don't like, improvements they've made, what I see. I've got enough comparison with other machines I've run, whether it's been at shows or other people's wood yards or other people's locations, that I've played with a lot of stuff now. So I'm getting a feel for, you know, what's going to be best for the consumer, you guys, people that are going to be buying these kind of machines. And they're working with me to improve these, and things that I want to be able to use these for. It's going to be fantastic. So this is going to hopefully be, and we talked about this with the company, a fairly long-term relationship with these guys where I'm going to have different machines coming. So like I said, I talked to other companies, but nothing ever happened. They said, yeah, we want to get you some stuff. And then I would come and say, yeah, we're working on it. And I didn't really beg. I'm not the kind of guy to say, hey, please give me some free stuff. I just want more content for you guys. I want machines that you guys can see and get my honest opinion, because I try to tell you the truth. If I see something that I don't like, I let you know. There's things in every machine that I like and don't like. There's things that I've tried in the past, whether it's been at shows or in person, different people's wood yards, that I didn't like. Things that I would never buy just because of my size, or because I didn't want to spend that kind of money, or it just wasn't the right machine for me. But this I really like. Now, when I first saw these machines, I wasn't really like, wow, that's really impressive. But the more I use them, the more impressed I get. What I like more than almost anything, there's hardly any electronics in this. It's manual stuff. It's stuff that you could fix yourself. It's levers and fittings and cylinders and stuff that it's pretty simple. A lot of people like joysticks, and they are nice and they're fast and everything, but boy, when you get problems with a joystick and a computer telling you what to do, and I know companies that have tried to develop some stuff that are highly electronic and computerized, lots of problems. This is a pretty simple basic machine, so the average person can figure this out, or have someone that knows a little bit of knowledge with hydraulics. They're not that hard. I'm learning as I go that I like that. I like the fact that I don't have to reprogram stuff or know the software and have issues electronically and all that. The main thing on here for electrics is it's an electric start. That's pretty much about it. So it's pretty awesome. So I like that. That's all I got for today, folks. Nothing real exciting other than just letting you know kind of how things are going. And when you come back tomorrow, I think we're going to be doing some splitting of some wood. I got a couple piles over there we're going to hit. I'll see you tomorrow morning, 5:30 a.m. Good night, Irene.